How about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Fortunately, nobody was watching, so it's fine. Okay, good. Anyway, so welcome. But as I was saying, I hope you guys are. Yeah, it's a soundboard. Sorry, it just plays up sometimes, or mixer board, not soundboard. Make it sound like it does effects. It doesn't. But anyway, yeah, 250 years for Lady Liberty. I'd like to I'd like to be here for the 300th, but I'm going to understand that probably won't happen, Probably not going to make it another let me see, 45 plus 6. I'm not going to make it another 51 years. I accept that. It'd be nice, but probably not. But anyway, so I did a cook-in today. That was pretty tasty. Hamburgers, hot dogs, watermelon. Oldest daughter made a chocolate pie. All the trimmings, some chips, sodas, that sort of thing. Very good. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I won't be surprised if we don't have a lot of people here, because I would imagine that a lot of you are completely zonked out right now on full food and beer and happiness and joy. You're sitting by a lake, by a beach, on top of a building, in your backyard, in a park, watching fireworks go off, or you're in the emergency room remembering the time when you had 10 fingers. I have never read that book. I don't get into a lot of, oh, well, the empire only lasted this long, and, well, it's got all these hallmarks of the other. I'm sure people in Germany in 1938 felt like things were going to go another 1,000 years. And it was 6. I guess I should say 7, but the German state returned to its borders. So, thank you, Jorge. Thank you. Yes. So I don't get too caught up on, oh, the United States is just as exactly the same state when blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's one example. It's like the Roman Empire is one example. Get to me when we have a larger sample set. If everything follows the model of the Roman Empire, just get like 100 from a statistic standpoint. 100 is a good sample set. So when there's been 100 empires like the Roman Empire or like the American experiment, if they all go exactly the same way, then the people living in the 101st can go, yep, that's coming. Well, happy belated Canada Day to you guys. You guys celebrated on the 1st when you asked permission from the British to be independent. I'm kidding you, dude. I'm just teasing our cousins up north. No, seriously. Belated happy Canada Day. See, I don't buy into that a lot, but it's not really what I wanted to talk about tonight anyway, because I don't Yeah, I just don't do politics around here. I do not. I will dance close to them in talking about the next thing that I'm going to mention, and that is this. I don't know if you guys watched the show or know about this, but I was talking about this back during the week, and I guess it made some people unhappy that I talked about it. I'm sorry. Some people thought it was unimportant, that it was much ado about nothing. But there actually is something pretty important for games, and I think it's something that may become important for us in the world of tabletop, and that is that the Stop Killing Games petition hit over 1 million subs in the European Union. Now, I don't know how European Parliament works exactly, but Ross Scott, the guy who started the Stop Killing Games initiative, just real briefly, don't at me, don't say I've gotten this wrong, because I'm doing the matchbook cover version. Ross Scott is a YouTuber. He does very funny machinima called Inside Freeman's Mind, where he plays kind of a cinematic Half-Life, not the cinematic mod for Half-Life 2. That's not what I'm talking about. He plays kind of a cinematic Half-Life experience in the first couple of Half-Life games. Almost like there's no heads-up display, no ammo count, anything like that. But like Freeman, he's still smart and still understands science, but he's got a very slacker, everyman dialogue going on about what's happening. And he also reviews and just talks about classic video games. Now, unfortunately, when we say classic video games, and I say unfortunately because I'm getting old, that includes stuff that came out as recently as the 2010s. So what a lot of companies have done with their video games is they've included either a component that always requires online verification, or there's like a mandatory multiplayer. Like even if you play single player, I think in Diablo 4, like even if you're playing single player, it still tags you with as playing online, even if you're just playing by yourself. It's like if you go in a World of Warcraft and don't party with anybody and go off and do dungeons and just ignore everybody. That's kind of how Diablo 4 is, except it instances the dungeons for you, but it's always feeding your stuff online. Ubisoft does that. Hey, great old ones. Good evening to you. So you say, okay, well, what's the problem? And the problem is companies can literally say, you know what? It's been 5, 6, 10 years since this game came out. Just shut the servers off. We don't want to do it anymore. We don't want to maintain the code anymore. We don't want to update the servers anymore. We don't want to maintain the servers anymore. Just shut them off. Now, if you were really keen on these games and you bought a lot of content for them, you bought the game on launch day, that sort of thing, you could be out 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. And that's not owning something. Now, I have somewhere around here a shareware copy of Doom. I have Microprose's F-15 Strike Eagle 3. I've got I'm looking at a copy of Falcon 4.0 from Microprose also. I've got the Wizardry collection from Surtech. It's all the wizardry games on a single CD-ROM. Hey, Brian Acosta, good to see you. And all of those programs, barring damage to their physical media, which would be on me, all those programs I can still install and play and run on my computers because they don't go out to the internet and they don't ask permission from another computer owned by a company to install and run. But some games do. And when you shut those off, that takes away someone's purchase and it destroys something artistic. So Ross started a petition called Stop Killing Games. And he needed a lot of help with it. He needed a lot of help with it. Because basically he ran into a wall immediately in America, and it came down to commerce that individual states manage. Like getting this on a bill and getting it passed in Congress as a federal law is a virtual non-starter. So he focused his efforts on the European Union. And that's its own can of worms because there's 14, 17 countries in the Union, 12, 13, 14 separate languages. All this stuff had to be coordinated, and people would step up to help, but then, leaps. And eventually he just got to the point 10 days ago. 10 days ago, Bill Willingham or Errol Otis, not fair. RRTNZ, that is not a fair question. The answer to your question is yes. But I'm gonna slightly, ever so slightly, edge Willingham out for Errol. But that is like, what is the better Led Zeppelin album, 4 or Physical Graffiti? You're talking about a 9.5 versus a 9.49999 repeating. So that when I say Otis over Willingham, that's the degree I'm talking about. So Ross started Stop Killing Games. The thing was, someone brought it up to a guy named Jason Thor Jason Hall. I don't remember right at this moment. I don't care. Maldavius Fig Tree was his persona name, I guess. So we'll just call him Maldy from now on. So Maldy manipulated the YouTube algorithm a couple of years ago. He's called Pirate Software on, hey, Zane, Sphere of Annihilation. Zane Daniel, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you, RRTNZ. Thank you very much for the super. I appreciate that. I hope you're well, Zane. I hope everybody over on your side is. Everybody check out Dungeon Damsel. Okay. They do a live play. It's Shadow Dark. Don't worry. I'm working on them. I'm evangelizing. I'll get them to convert to 1EA D&D eventually. It's so lovely to see you, man. Thank you for stopping by my live stream. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I'm being rated. Hello to you both, lovely people. Spheres of Annihilation. Dungeon Damsel isn't messing around. Yes, Shadow Dark is very nice. Can I have a word with you about our Lord and Savior, E. Gary Gygax? But anyway, so Maldy manipulated the YouTube algorithm and sliced up a bunch of basic advice strips. There you get. See, you get it. And I'm a kid at heart. DM Blackwall, good to see you. Well, Dungeon Damsel, have you guys seen the interview that I did with Gary? It's an audio interview I did back in 2002, but it's on my channel. So if you want to hear from the man himself, and unfortunately my nerdy ass voice is on there too, but you can check it out. But anyway, so Maldi got really popular on YouTube. And he claimed to be a dev, and he was all about video games. And so somebody said, "Hey, take a look at this initiative." And he flipped out. He lost his poop about it. So he said it was crap. He said it was a bad initiative. And he did like a line by line refutation of every piece of it and said, this is bad and you shouldn't have anything to do with it. And every refutation he made of it was wrong. Literally everything he said about it in the negative was wrong. And he said horrible things about Ross. He called Ross a used car salesman, and said some things I'm not going to repeat here on my show, not until I get more supers to put in the swear jar. So, having an audience of 2 million plus subs at that time, he's lost a few since then, meant that here's a guy with a bigger megaphone shouting out, don't support Stop Killing Games. So I'm gonna find that link for you while I'm sitting here, guys, that Gygax interview. So I mean, I don't have permission to visit that page. I absolutely have permission to visit that page because that page is mine. Get back in there. Anyway. Copy that link. And here you guys go. I want to I want to have you guys on my show. Zane, Damsel, I very much want to have you guys on the show. We need to do a collab. I love what you guys are doing. Discord, yes, I will share that. So Maldi wigs out, calls Ross a used car salesman and a bunch of other bad stuff that I'm not going to repeat here. And invite people. Oh, it's not going to do the invite because I got the thing on. Let me make it not the thing. And it really helped to kill the momentum of Stop Killing Games. It really did. It hurt it a lot. That's my opinion anyway. I don't want to encourage any armed nuclear lawfare from Maldi or his camp. But anyway, so he goes out and he rants about Ross for like 10 minutes. This is a year ago. Initiative flatlines. Stops at like 500,000 votes. Doesn't really get any significant traction. Ross, a week ago, made a video where he said, you know what? I did my best. I quit. I give up. I'm not going to do it anymore. And he said, people have been telling me to address Maldi. Ross Scott called him by Pirate Software, his YouTube channel name, and said, okay, let's talk about it. Reviewed all of his points and said, this is what I've had to climb against. I have tried to talk to this guy and he has been not nice about things from the get-go. So Ross just said, this is the end of Stop Killing Games. I gave it my best shot. I believe the kids today say it went viral. Take care, TXG. Thank you for hanging out. It blew up. And so So in a week, it went from the 500,000 it took almost 2 years to get to 1.2 million. It needs to go further because there are bad actors out there probably running bots to sign the petition. It needs to, I would say a comfy would be like 1.5 million. I'm pretty sure it's going to get there. But that was some great news yesterday when Stop Killing Games ticked over 1 million, and it's currently churning through like 1.2 million right now. And I'm just very happy about that. Zane got on the Discord. You'll regret that. I mean, welcome. Welcome. But anyway, so that was really good news, and I was very happy about that. But speaking of software that's a lot closer to home, speaking of software that is a lot closer to home, I put some work in on Crom. Now, for our guests out there who don't know, I'm going to show this to you guys. If this will, let me see, studio presentation. That is the character sheet, and that is awesome. But I actually want to show our audience something else. Share screen, window there, boom, and add to stage. Okay. So if you're not familiar with this, this is the Crom. This is the Character Record Organizational Manager. This is a piece of computer software written by yours truly to create first edition advanced characters. And it is exactly 100% rules compliant. I put in a bug fix earlier today, and I put in a bug fix yesterday, and I put in a bug fix today that fix all remaining outstanding issues. I completely missed on age right here. If you see where it says age unknown, it was not rendering the character's age properly. That should be middle-aged. That should be middle-aged right there where it says unknown. I fixed that code today. I finally tracked down what was doing that. Took a couple of tries. I fixed that. Psionics renders properly now. So this thing is done. I have tried to break it. I've been checking things out. It works completely. And I completely missed the age not showing properly on the character sheets. So now if you gen a character, or not now, but when I send the update out, when you gen a character in Crom, it will display the proper age. And if you have a human who has psionics, it will properly manage the psionics. And I'm really happy about that. So I got that fixed. That is super duper cool. And if you have bought Crom, I will be sending that fix out to you. If you would like to buy Crom, Crom is an application for Windows. It also runs, I am told by TXG, although he scuttled off, it runs in Wine on Linux. And there is a Macintosh version in the works, not an iOS version. People have asked me, hey, are you going to do this for Android? Are you going to do this for iOS? No, because this is the interface. This is the user interface for Crom. There's no universe where that looks good on a phone. I mean, you could make the case that, oh, it'd look fine on a tablet, or it'd look fine on, it'd look fine on a tablet or a Chromebook or something like that. I honestly, I wouldn't know how to get this on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store. Hey, Dan Rowan, good to see you. So I don't really, it's not that I don't want to, it's not that I'm spitting in the face of iOS or Android users. I just don't know how to get it there, guys. I just don't. And I mean, this is built with Python. Python is a powerful scripting tool. I probably, Joe Kaufman, thank you very much. Please be careful. It's late at night, Joe. Please be very careful. By the way, Joe Kaufman plays in the Wednesday night live stream that we do of whatever Kyle's running. It's his homegrown RPG, yes, but right now, Kyle's been known to run D&D, Traveler, Conflict, another RPG that he wrote. But anyway, I don't know how to get this into those environments. And because it is built on a very powerful scripting language, I don't know that I could make it safe, that they would look at it and go, yeah, that's probably okay. You're doing a bunch of reads and writes. You're writing to disk. But I will say this, it's not an always online app, and it has no DRM. So there's that. Anyway, if you wish to purchase a copy of Crom, it is $25 for a single seat license. If you have many seats that you wish to give it to, like you're a DM and you have 10 players or 5 players or whatever, talk to me. It lets you save in text. It lets you save in HTML. It is entirely first edition, advanced, rules compliant, and feature complete. Play as a human, dual class that human if they have the stats, dual class that human into becoming a bard if they have the stats, and if they're a half elf, you can make them into a bard. Any multi-class that is Player's Handbook legal is in this program. Any multi-class. Humans, elves, dwarves, half-elves, hobbit, halflings, gnomes, half-orcs. Fighter, ranger, paladin, cleric, druid, magic user, illusionist, thief, assassin, monk, and again, bards, if you've got the chops to become a bard. You want psionics? It's got psionics. It absolutely has psionics. And that is just scratching the surface of what this can do. You can buy your equipment. You can sell gems and jewelry. You can level your character up. You can drain levels from your character. You can change characteristics. Let's say you got a tome or a grimoire or a librum or a magic item or a curse or a wish. No, they couldn't, Daniel. They could not. Druids are true neutral. Paladins could dual class into clerics or even magic users, but they would have to walk a razor thin line. Paladin ranger, anyone? Yeah, halflings. I gotta call them halflings. You can add money as you level your character. You can spend Proficiencies. Sorry, I went blank there. You can spend proficiencies. If you get high enough level, and it will let you know you're entitled to new weapon proficiency. Do you want to select that new proficiency? And yes, you can assign proficiencies at the start of character creation. I don't really want to discuss the Trove because the Trove was a piracy website. I do not support piracy. I won't support piracy. Things that are unobtainium, things that are entirely out of print and will forever be out of print. I've talked about this before. TSR's Bio 1, that absolutely terrible damage tracking system for man-to-man combat with firearms. That will never be released by anyone ever again. I'll be more than happy to send you a copy if you want a copy of Bio 1. Warriors of Mars by TSR. The tournament versions of Lost Caverns of Sochconth or Ghost Tower of Inverness. I don't have a scan of Ghost Tower of Inverness tournament version, unfortunately. The tournament version of the Hidden Shrine of Temukan. Real, pure, unobtainium. You can't get these anyplace. I will gladly share that stuff around with you. But the Trove was hosting things that belonged to other people. Works of mine were on the Trove. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, did you know Lost Crypt is on the Trove? And I looked, and there it was. Greetings, Orbital Air. Good to see you. That's the great thing on 4th of July, Daniel. You can be a fan of the Eagles and the Patriots all on the same day. Heck, you can even be a fan of the Rebels. So I don't want to talk about the Trove from that standpoint in a positive light. And I know that may sound strange because I know we're all on the same sheet of music for the most part. If the Trove had just offered up, again, the unobtainium, the truly, look, you're never going to find a copy of this. You're never going to be able to afford a copy of this. So quit asking. Out of print, never coming back in print, and you didn't know that it was in print when it was in print. What is this post thing of which I speak? Anyway, let's not worry about Crom right now. If the Trove was still around and I saw Crom there, I would be furious. Because it would be people stealing from me. It would be people actively stealing from me. Hey, you guys got a great new quarterback, though, Joe. So, let's talk about what took the Trove down. The Trove was largely chugging along. It would get DMCA'd and then it would move servers, and then it would get DMCA'd and then it would move servers. What finally got it, what finally nuked it was now I have talked about my love for this game quite a bit. This is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is an amazing RPG. And you can get this, by the way. You can get this and then you can send it off to be printed on demand. You can take it to a local print shop and have yourself a nice softbound or hardbound copy. This is a great RPG. Some dude came along and created a clone of it. I'm not going to name him. I'm not going to name his clone because I don't want to give him traction. I don't want you to go, oh, well, I guess I'll go check out his. Because I happen to think he's an asshole. He uploaded his own materials to the Trove and then reported them to their host, yada, yada. And it basically downstream destroyed the Trove. That was the end of the Trove. But he did it by uploading his own copyrighted material that he created, his clone of Warhammer, to get the Trove shut down. That is what led to the shutdown of the Trove. That's why the Trove is gone. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 1E was absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I maintain that it is really quite the love letter to Dungeons and Dragons. I saw this thing. I had not heard this term before until like the early 2000s, 2003, 2004, but it was Fantasy Heartbreaker and then D&D Heartbreaker. I still don't understand the Heartbreaker part, but it's basically RPGs that sought to do what D&D did. But like, you know, oh, we don't have hit points. We have a life measurement. We don't have armor class. We have protection type. Yes, it is, Daniel. But with that said, I agree that if the Trove was going to host things that people were making their bread with, it needed to go. Ask me for out of print stuff. I mean, truly, I don't mean like, well, technically the 2014 Dungeons and Dragons is out of print, Bill. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm still looking for a PDF of Realm of Yolmi. You guys point me at that one and I'll download that sucker. You can encode that for all I care. You can mail it to me chopped up on a dozen floppies. I think, do I have? Yes, I do. I have a softbound WHFRP. I have 2 hardbounds and a softbound. Do I have a list of lost works that I still seek? Not really. I would say like there's 3. Realm of Yolmi, but I would also like to see the tournament version of Expedition to the Barrier Peaks and the tournament version of Ghost Tower of Inverness. I'd like to see those. You're interested in Warhammer. You like the wargame aspect of D&D mostly, and it seems Warhammer does that. You'd like to command armies. That, you know what, Joe? Let me see. This is such a great show to have guests here for. You know, I'm so glad that Zane and Damsel stopped by when I'm just doing absolute babbling bullshit. You're not seeing any mutants. You still want to come on, Gonzalo? You still want to hop on? Let's see. The hell was I just talking about? Oh, right. No, this is the question. Is Star Trek Adventures RPG? I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't know. All right, let's browse categories. Role system. Dungeons and Dragons. Official D&D. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let me share this. Swords and Spells. This is a war game. Now, this is for original D&D. You can do this or you can do chainmail, but Swords and Spells is a war game. You can use this for mass combat in first edition AD&D. And you can get a standard color book. But yeah, there you go. If you want to check out wargamey stuff, I would check out Swords and Spells. By the way, I don't have an affiliate link or anything to Drive Through RPG. YouTube is slowly strangling my income. Has anyone ever played the Deep Space Nine role-playing game? I have not. I would have just thought a DS9 RPG just would have been a supplement published for whatever Star Trek was out at the time. Because DS9 came along. When did that show come on? In the 90s? Mid 90s? Or I know. Yeah, it came out right around the time Babylon 5 came out. Because, we got to have space station name number. But we're totally not copying you, Jim. Yeah, and Foss's Star Trek was still out at the time, so I'm kind of surprised that there was no supplement for it. You're quite welcome, Joe. Now I wonder, let me see, because they have weird stuff on Pod. So like if we go over and we look at the OD&D white box set is not available Pod. You can't get OD&D print on demand. Chainmail is. Eldritch Wizardry is. It's almost like they have a vested interest in let's see. Eldritch Wizardry. How about Greyhawk? No, Greyhawk is not. It's almost like they have a vested interest in making it not very convenient to try and play OD&D. Blackmore is not. Gods, Demigods, and Heroes is, which I think, okay, so I have this. I want to check this out. This is kind of dangerous because I could send stuff flying, and we all know how sad that makes me when stuff gets thrown around and broken. What is this? That is the paper map for some war game. All right. So I have back in 2014, even as lousy as they were back then, Wizards of the Coast actually did something really nifty for the 40th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. If you've never seen this before, this is what it looks like. Maybe I should do like an unboxing of this, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to look through here real quick. It's, by the way, this is real wood. This is like a cigar box. It's got this kind of cool illustration in there. I don't look in this that often. But they made a limited run of these. I think it was like 1,500 or 2,000 or something. When you find these are exorbitantly expensive. They were like $100 when they first came out, and now they're way expensive. They came with some dice, which are here in the velvet. But I want to look at Gods, Demigods, and Heroes, which is fortunately right on top. This is a reprint, a reissue of Gods, Demigods, and Heroes. Now, the original actually has Conan in it. And I don't know that this has, let's see, Egyptian mythology, Indian mythology, Greek mythology, Celtic mythology, Norse mythology, Finnish mythology, Mexican and Central American Indian mythology, and Chinese mythology. I'm guessing no. So Wizards of the Coast, in addition to the ballardized covers that they did, and Mike Mearls was quite proud that he took Deb Larson's Eldritch Wizardry art off the cover of Eldritch Wizardry, which I will show that to you guys. Also, let me see. Again, this presumes that I'm not going to cause some fantastic, horrible disaster. Ooh, I'm playing with fire. Yeah, the one with the new cover art, no old Conan. No. Come on. Please don't send stuff flying. Watch, that'll be the only book I didn't get. OD&D is great, Joe. There's Chainmail. All right, Eldritch Wizardry. This is the too hot for TV, shocking cover of Eldritch Wizardry that Mike Mearls felt he had to protect us from back in 2014. So we got some not great line art on it. This, by the way, was done by a 17-year-old girl, Deb Larson. All right. But we are looking for Gods. Aha, here we go. Gods, Demigods, and Heroes. And by the way, my copy of Eldritch Wizardry is autographed by Gary Gygax and Tracy Lesh. All of my original D&D books are autographed by the creators of them, except I never got Brian Bloom's. You're in the middle of reading the first offered in the Grey Mouser literature. First offered in the Grey Mouser book. Excellent. I would rather that already be on the floor than fall off and break when it hits the floor. Because unobtainium. So here is the original cover of Gods, Demigods, and Heroes. I don't know if that is clip art or if that is actually David C. Sutherland's work on the cover. I know they used a lot of stock art inside. It's been a long time since I cracked this one open. Rob Kuntz autographed this for me. I wanted to get Jim Ward, but I want an omnibus unexpurgated Fafhrd and Grey Mouser book. Apparently, Fritz had some pretty blue scenes that got edited out of the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser stories. Anyway, so this actually does not say. It's got a forward from Tim Kask, which I suppose I could get Tim Kask's autograph on this also. So there's Egyptian, Indian, Greek, Celtic myths, Norse, Finnish. Do I ever have nightmares about I'm losing my entire collection in fire? Yes. Yes, I do. I see these posts from people. Now, we're not on a floodplain here in Florida, but I do see posts from people where, they'll say, yeah, I'm having to replace my AD&D collection. My game room was in my basement and we had a flood X years ago and every book was ruined. And I had books signed by Gary. I had a little character sketch drawn by Errol Otis, stuff like that. And that just like clenches my heart. But I mean, we could get a tornado or a hurricane, just rip my house apart, and these would be destroyed and scattered from here to the ocean. So Finnish myths. Finnish myths. Robert E. Howard's Hyboria. So we have Howard's Hyboria. And what else? And Elric. Elric is in here. Take care, Joe. Ride safe, my friend. And then Mexican and Central American. So, and before anyone asks, no, there are no there are no Cthulhu myths. They were never in this book. This is Conan and Elric, not Cthulhu mythos came in Deities and Demigods. So, but anyway, someone was saying, yes, Starblazer, you were talking about Pure Gold. This is my collection of OD&D books. They're mostly all autographed. Like my core books, the story about my core books getting autographed. I took these up in 2005 to the Lake Geneva Gaming Convention, the first one I went to, and I had Gary autograph these. Did I get my Greyhawk autographed? I think I got the Greyhawk autographed then. But anyway, yeah, he autographed all of these for me. And I went to, and I've also, let me see who else is in here. Right. So I used to go to a local gaming convention here in Central Florida called Huracan. Well, the HMGS South. My brain kept wanting to say LGGC South, no, HMGS South. And Dave Arneson lived here in the Orlando area at the time. He lived up in a small borough called Winter Park. And he taught at Full Sail University. And someone said, hey, Dave Arneson is a member of HMGS. You should go meet him and talk to him. So I was running an OD&D game one weekend at an HMGS con. So this was the only OD&D I had at the time, autographed by Gary. I think this is my autographed Greyhawk. Yeah, Rob and Gary's autograph on that. So I took my OD&D books with me, but I also took, this is my autographed one. That is not my autographed one. I have a few copies of Blackmore and Greyhawk. There it is. So I took my copy of Blackmore with me. And it was on the top of the stack that had the OD&D books in it. So I asked Dave, I said, hey, can I get your autograph on Blackmore? And he said, sure. And so he opened it up and he autographed it, put the date there, 4/07. And he then went through, he politely skipped Greyhawk, but he autographed all of the OD&D books as well. So that just kind of started something that I had wanted to do. And so I have Gary and Rob's autograph on Greyhawk. I have Gary and Dave's autographs in the OD&D sets. I have Rob's autograph. Regrettably, I never got Jim's autograph in Gods, Demigods, and Heroes. Do I have, I don't know, is Gary's autograph in Swords and Spells? I may have just, yeah, Gary's autograph is in Swords and Spells. And I have Gary's autograph in Eldritch Wizardry. Or do I? Yes, I have Gary and Tracy Lesh. I have Tracy's autograph in Blackmore as well. So I have many autographs. I'm an autograph hound for D&D booklets. And what's funny is I've told my wife, look, if I drop dead suddenly, get these books, get my Dungeon Master's Guide, get my autographed up copy of Deities and Demigods, and my I have one autograph in my monster manual, Tom Wham. Get those and get to Paul Stormberg, and Paul will take care of you. And I've asked him a couple of times, like, well, what do you think they're worth? What do you think the autographed OD&D books are worth? And he said, the problem is there's no box for them. See, an autographed box would be worth a mint. But if somebody's looking for an autograph set, they're looking for an autograph set. If somebody's looking for an individual book or an individual set of books, they might not want the autographs. So that's iffy. You guys are awfully quiet out there. But anyway, so that's the story of my autographed OD&D booklets. And stuff just fell over here. I'm going to try and put stuff back while I talk to you guys, and hopefully not cause a resonance cascade. They're waiting for you, Delver, in the test chamber. So I'm just hanging out, having fun. Who wouldn't want an exactly? Exactly. I mean, I've got my deities and demigods up here. It's autographed to heck and gone. Oh, and my chainmail is autographed. My chainmail set is also autographed. I think my neighbors have gotten into the drink. They're howling and yelling. And before anybody asks me, yes, I have the Arduin Grimoire. By the way, some of my favorite things in D&D are the Librams, tomes, manuals, and grimoires. The Arduin grimoires came out 76, 75, right in there. And someone gave Gary a copy of the Arduin grimoire. And he was so impressed with it that we got the cursed vacuous grimoire from the Dungeon Master's Guide. And allow me to read this to you. So, what was Gary's opinion of fan publications, you might ask? Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is from the Dungeon Master's Guide. Let me tell you. I hope you're doing well this evening, Padre. I mean, Gary just poured out acid on this. Share screen. All right, here we go. The Vacuous Grimoire. Now, pay close attention to how he describes it. A book of this sort is totally impossible to tell from a normal one. A book of this type is totally impossible to tell from a normal one. Where did they go? Arduin books. Original D&D books. Look really similar, don't they? Although if a detect magic spell is cast, there will be a magical aura noted. Any character who opens and reads so much as a single glyph therein must make 2 saving throws versus magic. The first is Goddamn, Gary. The first is to determine if a point of intelligence is lost. The second is to find if 2 points of wisdom are lost. Once opened and read, the vacuous grimoire remains, and it must be burned to be rid of it after a first casting a remove curse spell. If the tome is placed with other books, its appearance will instantly alter to conform to one of the other works it is amongst. Oops. There's the stack. If I shuffled these, could you point them out? Gary really did not like Arduin. And I have to admit, it's not great. Oh, Gary failed that saving throw every time. And I say that as someone who loved Gary. Gary Gygax, not a fan of Arduin. So I have my Temple of Apshai and Curse of Ra manuals are in here because they're the same size, which I don't think is on accident either. Let's see. 1, copy of Blackmore, copy of Greyhawk, 2 copies of Greyhawk, 3 copies of Greyhawk, Gods, Demigods, and Heroes, Volume 3, Underworld and Wilderness Adventures, Volume 2, Monsters and Treasures, Volume 1, Men and Magic. Another copy of Greyhawk, another copy of Blackmore, and Supplement 3, Eldritch Wizardry, with a naughty cover and everything. Back home to lots of booms. Glad you're back safe, great old ones. So yeah, somehow I wound up with 4 copies of Greyhawk and 2 copies of Blackmore. I had at one point 5 or 6 copies of Chainmail and Shrink. I bought them from a vendor at one of those HMGS shows. They were $7.50 a copy, and he sold them to me for $7 a copy because I was buying all of them. And I eventually sold them all off, and I sent 1 copy to a military convention being held in the Green Zone in Iraq. Don't mind me. I'm just trying not to cause a resonance cascade, Dr. Freeman. Anybody here ever role play Half-Life? Did you ever do Half-Life in any role play system? I'd love to hear about it if you did. Oh goodness, I've created a terrible mess. I'm gonna do it, Gary. I'm gonna put the Arduin Grimoires. Let's see. I just think the most hilarious thing in the world is that the Arduin Grimoires took the typo from OD&D percent in layer, which is typoed in OD&D as percent liar. Hargrave just presumed that Gary meant that the monsters had a chance of telling an untruth. Which, when you get to monsters that are not intelligent, that's, you know. Also, I can see this is wisdom damaging because these are like a 1.75 or 2 point something power set of readers, and good God, this is unreadable. This is literally like a 2-point font in there. I just want to see just how. Yeah, it's entirely illegible. I would think Mimics would be 100% liar. I'm totally a helpless princess tied up in this cabinet. Come and save me. Well, hell. Gelatinous Cubes, 100% liar. I can absolutely see Gelatinous Cubes as 100% liar. Why? Do you know how many times I've done you see a skeleton floating down the hall towards you, and out come the holy water, out come the holy symbols. I'm turning, I'm casting protection from undead, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it gets close and it starts trying to stun people. There you go. Percent liar, 100. Who's ever said it was a monster but very honest? Well, if monsters, don't mind the wires, doctor's orders, it's not like I'm plastic explosive. If we take monsters to mean anything that the party has encountered but is not sure what it is yet, which is a definition of monster in the monster manual, you've got like Bahamut. Bahamut, very honest. Hey, Doc Flamingo, good to see you. I see what you. Yeah, Dungeon Minister, mercy, please, mercy. Don't mind me. I'm just reorganizing my bookshelf while I talk to you guys because I moved something. You guys know how it is. But I do have all of my supplements. I forgot that I had this. I could have just pulled this down. All of my supplements in a single bound book. So people say, well, when you go to conventions and stuff, what do you I use this, and now I can't see it. What I do with it. I use these two. These are what I use. It's a pod copy of all 3 core OD&D books, and here's all the supplements. No chainmail or swords and spells in here, but so what? Yeah, I'm trying to prevent the Book of Lynch. That is, I don't organize. I organize my books using the, do we put it back on the shelf or not? That's my Dewey system. The answer most frequently is no. Put this back up. I kind of wish I could have this on display, but if you don't know what it is, it just looks like a wooden block with a Wizards of the Coast ampersand on it. Like, could they not have graven this like the cover of an actual wood grain OD&D set? Got to walk the road and hit the dog. Have a good night. Mr. B plays. Good to see you. How are you? We had some company. We had the fine folks from Dungeon Damsel were here, but I think they ran off. I think I frightened them. Perhaps not. Anyway, be well, Padre. We'll see you around. Attack Force. Did a video on that. I might release that to you guys all one day. This is basically Star Wars. It is a mini game that TSR did. It is the only TSR mini game I ever owned, but they did Saga, which was kind of a Viking game. They did Vampire. They did some kind of vampire one. These were kind of fun, though. These were kind of interesting. I'm just trying to do this and avoid a disaster. What else is happening? I still don't have a resolution to the situation with the music. If you've been here since, I don't know, I started this, there's 15 of you guys still watching. But if you've been here since the start of the show, me being muted aside because of mixer difficulties, you know that I didn't play Summer Mountains or my opening credits. I think just to even just to get me back in sync, because last night I was trying to have a relatively normal live stream, and I just felt out of whack the entire thing because I can't have my opening credit anymore. Not with the music. And it just throws me out of sync. And again, I just want to emphasize it's not the Bard's fault. It's not their fault at all. It's that stupid CD Baby company. And I thought yesterday, I was like, oh, finally it stopped. It's been all day. I haven't gotten a single content match at all. Rolled over to midnight, bam, bam, 2 videos. So I filed another couple of disputes, and now I get to sit and wait for a month. I guess what I'll just have to do is just, because I have the video in my production studio software, is I'll just go in and just nuke the audio completely, and folks who don't watch me that often can watch the opening credits and wonder why the hell there's nothing going on behind it. Maybe I'll hum or something or narrate over it. I'm still very down about that. I'll tell you guys a funny one. Well, I mean, I guess it's funny to me. I can't. I can't have the I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. I can't run the risk of getting more copyright strikes. They're not. I need to stop calling them strikes, because they're not. If it was strikes, the first one would have never gone away, and then the following 2 would have knocked me off of YouTube entirely. YouTube doesn't care. They actively hate small. I just saw the word container on my screen here, my Dungeon Master's Guide PDF. They hate small creators. They'll do anything to shake us off like fleas. And if I started racking up strikes, I would just be hosed. Yesterday, I found a really cool cartoon on YouTube. I don't want to even link to it. But if you follow me on social media, you know that I changed my user avatar on Twitter. Now, I pay for being verified on Twitter. I consider it advertising for the show. It's part of the show's advertising budget. It is what it is. I know they used to hand out verification to people who could, like, I'm John Rap Guy and I have 10 million followers. Give me a blue check. There you go. But if you were like, I'm John Rap Guy and I'm just starting out and I have 10 followers, they'd be like, we don't know that that's who you are. They would literally just verify people at random. That changed. Verification was something you could pay for. And I pay for verification because it boosts one signal and it lets me make longer posts. So, again, it's part of the advertising budget for the show. I did not know that if you changed your user avatar, they took your verification away until they could make sure that you're not a malicious party who came in, changed all of the user stuff, including the user avatar, and is now using the account for malicious purposes. Some yada da 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 da. Where's that little blue check mark at? Odd. So I go back to my profile. You're under investigation until we can prove it's you. What? I didn't realize they did that just they didn't just do that periodically. They do it if you change your user avatar. So that, coupled with the nonsense that I've been fighting with CD Baby, that just put me into a tailspin. Hey, Yang. Fortunately, I screenshotted my profile and I said, well, apparently X has decided to de-verify me. And it came back in an hour or so. But I have had so many, sorry, folks, park's closed. Moose out front should have told you, moments from people who see that. It just pops up on their feed and they're like, you changed your user avatar. That's what did that. And it's not even anyone I know now at this point. It's just like random people on Twitter like, you changed your user avatar, man. That's what did that. So that's just kind of funny. But it's back now. I'm verified again. There was a time, what was it, last year, I think? They just like, nah, bro. Nah. We're investigating your account. I was like, what? And apparently, I had liked too much stuff too fast and reposted too much stuff too fast. So they decided to find out if I was a person, and I had to do like, you know, the pipes game? It was an old Windows thing where it's like stuff is moving through the pipes and you got to turn the pipes and get to the valve at the top. I was doing stuff like that. And it wasn't just one verification, it was verification after verification after verification after verification. And I hate those, like the CAPTCHAs. Oh, what is the one? There's one that's like click every square with a bicycle in it. Okay, here's obviously a bicycle, but the bicycle's handlebar sticks like 10 pixels into this one. Should I click that? Let's go ahead and click that one. Nope, try again. Okay. I try again. This time the bike fender is just poking into the square above it. I'm not gonna do that. You're not catching me there. Nope, didn't do it right. And I have to prove to a robot that I'm a person. I have to pass a Turing test created by a robot. So that happened to me once over there. Happy 4th, Chris. Am I full of burgers? Yang asks if I'm full. Yes, I'm full of burger, singular. Full of burger, Doritos, Coca-Cola, all the stuff I had on burger. This is how the Matrix starts. Yeah. So it's been a tough week for me on social media. Anyway, I'm continuing on. What else is going on? I think they're gone now, but two very nice people were here earlier. It was Dungeon Damsel and Zane from over at Dungeon Damsel's channel. They were here. They're very nice people. They put up with my silly nonsense. When I super chat Spheres of Annihilation, I try and get DM Zane to throw Spheres of Annihilation at his adventuring part. He never does. But I tip them because I'm nice like that when I can, which unfortunately is not often. Let's see. Don't mind me just picking up stuff. I am so excited. By the way, guys, Alyssa Hazel has written she's written more than 2 books. There's Among the Juniper Trees, there's Twitching Light, there's some other horror and speculative oddments, but there is The Third Test, which is a science fiction novel. I read this. I love it. It's an amazing book. The Second Initiative, the sequel, is coming out. I'm really super duper excited about that. Hazel is a wonderful author, and you should check her work out. Alyssa Hazel. Alyssa Hazel. And she could refer to me as Sylvie. Oh, you're quite welcome, Brian Acosta. Accosting me on my own show, will you? You are very welcome, Brian. You're very welcome. Happy 4th to you too. Do a Conan style Mako introduction. I'll do my best. I'll do my level best. Between the times when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, Conan, destined to wear the crown of Aquilonia upon a troubled brow. It is I, his chronicler, who alone can tell you of his saga. Let me tell you of the days of high adventure. Sorry, that's the best I got. Oh, you meant like a Conan style? I thought you just like on the spot wanted an impression of Mako. Shit. Am I embarrassed? How long is the introduction? The introduction is like 45 seconds. Yeah, I get that, Daniel. I understand now. I can do it in an Alex Jones voice if somebody wants to hear. If somebody will super chat me, I will do the Conan intro as Alex Jones. Or as I'm going blank here. Hang on. I'll do this. Tucker Carlson. That's it. Tucker Carlson. I can do it as I can do the introduction. Hell, I'll do the Tucker Carlson one for free. Between the rise. No, let me. Between the times when the oceans drank Atlantis, Congress wants us to believe that's because of global warming. We investigated the rise of the sons of Arius. Under that, Conan. Congress tells us he was destined to wear the crown of Aquilonia upon a troubled brow. Now, the Biden administration wants to tell us days of high adventure. We investigated. Here's what we find out. Doing the Sleeth voice will send your middle child. I don't want that. I can't afford another child here. Danny, this is for you. Silence Redcoat. Oh, thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super. I do it for you guys. I do it for you guys. That's why I started doing it in 2020 and why I still do it today. I just keep on keeping on for you guys. I just keep on keeping on. Now, the question is, she really started, she squat. The question is, does that count as a super to hear the Conan introduction as performed by Alex Jones. I mean, I have a super, and you weren't really specific, Danny. But if you say yes, you shall have it. My discretion. See, I can absolutely see Alex Jones sincerely believing that in the oceans drinking Atlantis and the rise of the Sons of Ares. Is your name not Danny then? That's going to cause a bit of confusion. I'm here to warn you people. Between the time before when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the Sons of Ares, under this age, Conan, he was destined to wear jewel crown of Aquilonia upon a troubled brow. And I tried to warn you people. I've tried to warn you about that. And I'm telling you people, the government doesn't want you to know it. But I alone can tell you of his sagas. Now come on. Oh Lord, tell me. Tell me what to tell the people, Lord, of the days of high adventure. Don't stroke out. I practically have to drive halfway there when I'm doing Jones. Tinfoil hat, yeah. Oh my goodness. This is the quality programming that I have cultivated an audience, curated and cultivated an audience for half a decade, not over half, a little more than half a decade. For this level of content, this is why people join my Patreon and join us as members for stuff like this. As long as the lobster remains unbreaded, yes. All right, I'm getting more stuff. Dragons of Under-Earth, an odd game. This was arguably one of the first game retro clones when Steve Jackson was still working, or shortly after Steve Jackson left Metagaming to form Steve Jackson Games. They still had Melee and the Fantasy Trip, and so they published Dragons of Under-Earth, which is essentially compatible with Melee and the Fantasy Trip, or Melee and Wizard and the Fantasy Trip. It's not a good game though. It requires Lords of Under-Earth. This is fairly common. You can pick this up for 20, 30, 40 bucks. This was a shrink wrapped copy that I opened on the live stream ages ago. And we did an unboxing of it. And it's got some pretty nice art in one or two places, but literally one or two places. But it is a super duper ultra hyper simple cut down lightweight RPG, but you really need Lords of Under-Earth to make it work. And while this one is really common, and again, I found a shrink wrapped copy for like 25 bucks on eBay, buy it now on eBay a few years back. Lords of Under-Earth is so unbelievably rare. If you find a copy, it's going to cost you well over $100. So the thing you need to make this work is unobtainium. Chicanery. Does that mean you're Chicano or from Chicago? Speaking of chicanery, I thought this was pretty funny. And I wish I had it to hand. But I stumbled across a picture the other day of. Now, let me preface this by saying I do not for a minute believe or buy into the Mandela effect. It was never Berenstein. It was it's always been, or Berenstein. It's always been Berenstein. Who's my fave that produced Dave Trampier? But again, you're asking me in terms of what is the best Led Zeppelin album. So if I rate Dave Trampier a 10, Errol Otis is a 9.99. Dave LaForce is a 9.997. You see what I'm saying? But for first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, it's Dave Trampier. For original D&D, it's a little harder. I got to go with Tracy. I got to give all the love in the world to Tracy. And then Greg Bell. And then Keenan Powell. But anyway, to get back to my nonsense. A guy found a package of socks that he had purchased years ago, still in their wrapper. The wrapper was a Fruit of the Loom wrapper, and it had a cornucopia. If it's photoshopped, it is the best Photoshop in the world. Guys, I'm here to tell. I grew up in the 70s. The cornucopia was always on Fruit of the Loom stuff. It always was on Fruit of the Loom stuff. I know it was. I saw it when I was a kid. Why? Because shirt tags drove me bonkers. And my mom would cut the shirt tags out of my undershirts. And I saw my underwear all the time. Saw that little tag all the time. It was always, always, always there. It was never, ever not there. It was always there. That damn cornucopia was there. So yeah, guy posted up a picture. I was like, aha. And I was like, hey, Grok, what's that a picture of? And it babbled off some nonsense. And I was like, Grok, there is a cornucopia on that logo. And the Grok AI is like, no, there's not. And I said, Grok, I will outline it in red and show it to you. There is a cornucopia. It's a common misconception that the cornucopia was real, guys. I can't speak for the Berenstein Bears. I have this. I got a copy of Morkborg. I won this from Thane Kyle, D&D Disability. It's an interesting RPG. It's just not. It's just not really my cup of tea. It's okay. Daniel Rowan wins that. Yeah. Where's the svelte kid who could run a 5K without breaking a sweat and had long flowing hair that hung down to his waist? That wasn't me that I saw in the mirror this morning. I was a triathlete too. I tried to be an athlete and then I quit. Oh, got to be careful with that. That's my D&D stamp sheet, which does have some first edition AD&D stuff in there. has Larry Elmore's Red Dragon, Warrior Fighting a Red Dragon. I may technically be balding. I don't think there's any technical about it. I am balding, but it's happening slow enough that I'm not giving up on the long hair. So. Anyway, ask me D&D questions, for crying out loud, guys. I've been meandering all over the place. Be my content, damn it. Oh, I need to put this away. I have a deck of many things included copy of Dragon Magazine. Apparently these blew up. And picked these up on eBay for like $20. And then one morning people were just like, must get it. So, you know. So now the price is going through the roof. Oh, I know. Speaking of prices going through the roof, I don't think anything else is going to fit there. I'm just going to carefully put this here. Speaking of prices going through the roof, I should cover the effects and extent of cure spells. CLW is 1d8. Yeah, I mean, I'll do that real quick. Cure Light Wounds. Well, let's see. Cure Light Wounds is 1d8. Cure Serious Wounds is 2d8 plus 1. Cure Critical Wounds is 3d8 plus 3. Heal restores all but 1d4 hit points back to whomever is healed. Restoration will restore levels, but also withered limbs and severed limbs. That's really all there is to curative spells. Ghoul's paralysis lasts 3 to 24 rounds, I believe. That was finally hashed out. And where you will find that is a most unusual place. If you have a copy of Holmes Basic or Introductory D&D with the Monsters and Treasures assortment levels 1 to 3, there is either a ghoul or carrion crawler encounter, I think it's ghouls, that specifically states how long you are paralyzed by ghoul touch. And that is what people go with. And Gary confirmed it. How would I go about getting 5e zombies to switch to 1e? Just sit down and say, let's play D&D. Don't worry about addition. I'm just going to run an awesome adventure for you guys. Tell them, and if you have to pitch it first, tell them it'll get their eyes up off of their character sheet and focusing on what's going on the table. If they want to swim a river, you're an adventurer. Of course you can swim a river. If they want to, climb a tree, they don't have to have the special tree climb feat. What is my favorite module or dungeon crawl and what made it so memorable for me and my group? My favorite module, without a doubt, is B2, Keep on the Borderlands. The dungeon is fantastic. It has every essential piece in it to make it a great dungeon adventure. It is a mega dungeon, 65 plus encounters areas on multiple levels. It has a power curve. It hockey sticks sharply at the end. If you go all the way to the end of the ravine and climb up and go in, you are sticking it in where the hornets live. The module itself contains the essential everything you need to know, to learn, to play Dungeons and Dragons. If Gary had included like 2 more pages front and back of brief spell descriptions and XP required for each character class, B2 would have been an introductory D&D set all by itself. I taught myself to play D&D with just a copy of B2. I didn't know you needed a rule book. I thought the modules had everything you needed. So for the first year I played D&D, we played Keep on the Borderlands. And I just ran it. I made up the parts that I didn't know, like how a character could level. Gas, same as ghouls. Daniel. What was my first character and or favorite class in AD&D? I don't remember my first character. Probably a fighter magic user, I think. We played the U series with Mark Higginbotham as Dungeon Master. He was a high school kid. And I ran a fighter, an elven or half elven fighter magic user. Don't remember his name. Don't remember his final fate. I think we just kind of petered out and stopped playing. My favorite class though in AD&D is the Paladin. I love the Paladin. It's such a tightrope you have to walk, but the rewards are worth it. I mean, a special warhorse, immunity to disease, +2 to all saves, protection from evil, 10-foot radius, lay on hands ability, cure disease, detect evil. Turn ability as a cleric starting at 3rd level. Cleric spells starting as a 1st level cleric at 9th level. But it requires such a set of stats to have that Paladin. Looting the bodies is not a sin. Killing the prisoners and taking their coin, that is wrong. Do I track XP? I always track XP. I do not do a milestone leveling system. Some dungeon masters may choose to do that. I do not. I do not like milestone leveling. We will track XP. I will award you a grade. It will be divided over your multi-classes. You will pay for training for each separate class. So I hope those all answer your questions. And yes, I do grade. Well, I mean, if that works for you at your table. I like the crunchiness, the crispiness of going with yeah, just give me the Yeah, no, give me the nuts and bolts, you know. You hear me say Greyhawk is my favorite setting, no argument, but which is it? I would say probably the Mystara setting. You know, I don't go head over heels for it, but I like Mystara. Okay. That is a shame, Mr. B. I hope you get a chance to play. What is the most bizarre or unexpected magic item me or my players ever found? A wand of wonder showed up in a pile of loot in a homebrew dungeon that I ran ages ago. I was just rolling random treasure that a monster might have. There's a wand of wonder. That is pretty funky. The deck of many things has popped up before. I would say those two, Wand of Wonder, Deck of Many Things. Crap. Oh, very important. Zeus's rabies certificate. Let's not lose that. Forgotten Realms, Myth Trader. Now, I will say this. It's a shame that we never got a Greyhawk computer game for PC. But I absolutely love the early gold box games. Love them. Cannot get enough of them. What is this? I adore them. Jeff, the greatest dungeon master alive. Second greatest dungeon master alive. Good to see him. Flame tongue swords are pretty nice. Just had a character find some in, or find the Frost brand in G2. Any other questions at all? Any other questions? We've been going for about 2 hours now. What is a rule or chart from the 1E Dungeon Master's Guide that no one really remembers, but that I still love? Item saving throws. Item saving throws. Fire giant throws a boulder at you. All that pretty plate mail. Save Medus's crashing blow. They always forget that. Had the party break a potion of healing in a small chest that they found. No, it wasn't even in a small chest. It was in a pouch. They killed a couple of Lucrata found their lair. I'll take my spear and I'll poke the pouch. Softly or firmly? Firmly. Normal. I treated it as a normal blow. Normal glass versus blow. Take care, great old ones. How's Mrs. Delver doing? Mrs. Delver is fine, thank you. Thank you for asking. But I love item saving throw tables. Oh, look what's at the bottom of that pile of stuff that I pulled out. Orange Tegel Manor. I have just the thing for that. A backing board. One of my players in my Monday night game has a Daern's Instant Fortress. Because again, I diced for it. I guess that's a pretty unusual item. But they got a Daern's Instant Fortress. They had a random encounter with some hill giants. Hill giant stood back and said, all right, that's a metal tower. We can deal with that, and started throwing boulders. No, that's okay, Danny. I'm probably going to wrap it up here in just a minute. But yeah, that's my Orange Tegel Manor. I don't remember where I got this thing anymore. Yeah, ends are bad news. I mean, hey, let's be honest. Properly played, any giant's going to be bad news, right? Oh, here's another one. Does this offer itself as a role-playing game? No, but it could be used as a role-playing game. Literally, this illustration on the front by Dietrich is like the best part about it, though. It essentially uses the same 2 or 3 stat system that all the micro games coming out of Texas were doing back then. There's nothing fun about this. And yet I've had it for decades, and I will probably keep it for decades. Because I'm dumb and I'm a hoarder. Oh, I love giants. The party rescued the storm giantess in G2, and she is accompanying them now. Don't know if she'll follow them to G3. I guess we'll have to see. Have to wait and find out. Oh, that's neat. I guess then that cloud giant would fall into the 50% evil. I mean, fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. I'll grind your bones to make me bread. It's not hoarding if it's on shelves, it's a collection. That's why I keep buying shelves. If it's just piled in boxes around the floor, then it's hoarding. That's why I couldn't stand to have all those damn totes around here. I sold a couple of totes worth of stuff. Here's another one, Tales from the Tavern. That's not old, but it's awesome. Elvin made this. I'm interviewed in this one. You guys really should get a copy of Tales from the Tavern. Let's see. What else is down here? Treasure is the only thing you're having. In what way, Jeff? Oh, treasure for the cloud giant? Just roll it up. What does a cloud giant usually have? Let's find out. Let's open the monster manual and see what they usually have. Oh, the goose harp? Oh, the goose and the harp, or whatever it is. It's been a while. Sorry. Monster Manual. Cloud giants. E and Q times 5. Treasure type E. I mean, obviously, you're going to make it an artifact level item. But treasure type E, we have 5% chance of 1 to 10,000 copper, 25% chance of 1 to 12,000 silver, 25% chance of 1 to 6,000 electrum, 1 to 25% chance of 1 to 8,000 gold, no platinum, 15% chance of 1 to 12 gems, and 10% chance of 1 to 8 pieces of jewelry, maps, or magic. Any free plus a scroll, 25% chance. And then Q, of course, is just gems, 50% chance of Q times 10. So 1d4 times 10 gems. It's pretty simple. In order to reach a cloud giant territory, you need to find magic beans and then plant them, and then climb the resulting beanstalk. The golden harp knows when you are fibbing. I mean, make it a very minor artifact. Let's see. Treasure. Is that a suggested power? And I would give it an alignment, make it good, give it an ego and all that jazz mataz. Give it let me see. Give it one minor benign power, ESP, ESP 3 times a day. There you go. There's your heart. Bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, that's gonna about do it for me, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I know they're probably long gone, but I want to thank DM Zane and Dungeon Damsel for stopping by. I really appreciated that. And I appreciate you guys too. Whether you just stop by, to say hello every once in a while or whatever you do. I love you guys and I appreciate it and I mean it. So I'll go ahead and wrap up there, and I'll say something funny that you can pretend that I said about owl bears, and I will see you guys Monday night. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to have my opening theme music back by then, but I wouldn't bet on it. Peace. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.